Tonight, just how deep the Calabrian Mafia has infiltrated Australia, with organised crime clans involved in everything from gun running and drug trafficking to industrial-scale money laundering. We go inside the police operation to break mob rule. They first put down roots in Australia a century ago, and today there are 51 Italian crime clans boasting at least 5,000 members that call Australia home. At least 14 of those belong to the Calabrian Mafia, or the 'Ndrangheta.
They are a global problem. They are responsible for 70 to 80% of the world's cocaine, and they are flooding Australia with illicit drugs.
Such is their influence, they can outsource much of the dirty work, like smuggling and intimidation, to bikie gangs. And unlike pretty much every gangster film you've ever seen, they're pretty good at keeping their head down.
They've been able to stay under the radar by living modest lives in modest homes. They funnel their illegitimate wealth into their legitimate construction, agricultural and catering businesses.
One thing the movies do get right, it really is a family affair.
The 'Ndrangheta pride themselves on the fact that they have this omerta, which means that they work in this secrecy and silence.
The AFP's been able to shine a light on this secretive world thanks to ANOM, the Trojan horse messaging app rolled out as part of a global sting operation last year.
Essentially, we have been in the back pockets of organised crime and operationalised a criminal takedown like we have never seen.
Operation Ironside dealt a huge blow to syndicates across the world, including the 'Ndrangheta.
We also seized about 6.3 tonnes in illicit drugs, 147 weapons and $55.6 million in cash. Outside of Australia, more than 700 alleged offenders have been charged and 65 tonnes of illicit drugs have been seized.
But it'll take more than an app to bring down the mafia.
If we don't cut off the head and tail of organised crime, we face living in a very different Australia.
Well, Age and SMH journo John Sylvester has been writing about organised crime in Australia for almost 40 years. He joins us now. John, what has actually happened today?
Well, the federal police have made a statement which indicate the size of Italian organised crime based in Australia. Now, for the experts, this comes as no surprise, but what probably the game changer was the ANOM app, which was that fantastic sting operation where police were able to monitor a large number of encrypted messages. Even for the experienced investigators, it showed that the problem was actually bigger than they first imagined. To give you an idea, they trapped 27 million encrypted messages. And that's only 5% of the messages that were being passed around. So if each one of those messages was a Lego brick, it would reach from Melbourne to Sydney.
Wow.
That's 5%.
So if the ANOM app and that whole sting operation was what started this, do we have any concept yet of what the full impact of ANOM will be?
It will take years, because what happened was the really urgent messages, which included in Victoria, stopping one confirmed murder and another 3 suspected ones. But now it's a matter of going through millions and millions and millions of pieces of intelligence to build up to the level of evidence.
So, John, today must have been quite an exciting day for you, because you're always sort of at the coalface of crime, and you said it was bigger than anyone had imagined. Was it bigger than you imagined?
The ANOM thing proved, if you like, the worst case scenario, because some of us live in this world of ethnic crime, as though the mafia only deals with itself and Asian organised crime only deals over here and bikies over here. What you saw was, in fact, that organised crime is the greatest success story in regarding multiculturalism.
Right.
It's a great champion of it.
Wow.
Because they speak one language. It's called money. And so the Italian gangs, which of course in Australia are like third generation Italians, are dealing with Colombian cocaine producers, and the money may well be being laundered through an Asian syndicate.
John, understandably, there's been a huge focus on counter-terrorism over the last few decades. Has that distracted from the threat of organised crime?
I think probably directly after 9/11, understandably, the Commonwealth government put a lot of resources into that particular area. The threat of terror is ongoing, and that's why we've got Five Eyes and the communication with other places, but so is organised crime. And in many areas, there's actually a crossover where money from organised crime has been used to fund terrorism.
It's fascinating, John, and I'm sure there's a lot of people around Australia who are just looking up exactly what's been going on for the past decades. Thank you very much for your insight.
Thanks very much.